Great to be here. My name is John Katsilometes. I work for the Las Vegas Review-Journal. You can find me on page 3A every day and online all the time, as we say, and I am honored to be here. Thank you, Nancy, for everything. It's just a pleasure to be in this room. Thank you. I'm here to introduce my friend, Brad Garrett, into the College of Fine Arts Hall of Fame. Brad couldn't be here tonight. It is nothing related to an unpaid student loan. Brad went to UCLA, grew up in Los Angeles, in Oxnard actually, went to UCLA for 2 months. He is actually filming a new Paramount Plus series called Bupkis. It's based on the life story of Pete Davidson. That's why Brad can't be here. Our Hall of Fame inductee is still a working professional. Brad learned the art of stand-up comedy from such mentors as Rodney Dangerfield, who once took notice of Brad's 6'9" height and said, "Leave the rest of the team on the bus, will ya?" Brad developed his stage style by playing such comedy clubs as the Improv in Hollywood, the Ice House in Pasadena, among others. He won the Grand Champion Award on Star Search, if you remember that show, leading to an appearance on The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson. This was all in 1984. Brad was 23 years old. He began to get TV roles as a result. His acting work included bit parts on Roseanne, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and a famous Seinfeld episode where he played the psychotic mechanic who stole Jerry's car because Jerry wasn't taking proper care of it. That was in the first season of Seinfeld. He soon was opening for legends, superstars across the country and in Las Vegas, including Crystal Gayle, Diana Ross, Liza Minnelli, Sammy Davis Jr., Julio Iglesias, and Frank Sinatra. The road led to a lot of stories that Brad tells on and off the stage. During a run of shows in Reno, Brad once asked Sammy Davis Jr., when they were standing at a vending machine, if Sammy could break a 20. And Sammy told him, 20 is change, man. When opening for Julio Iglesias across the country, Brad noticed that his material was not working. It wasn't landing. He wasn't getting any laughs. He finally told Julio, "I don't get it. None of my jokes are working." And Julio Iglesias told Brad Garrett, "My audiences don't speak English." Brad said, "What am I doing here?" Julio said, "I like to laugh before my show." I had a chance to tell Enrique Iglesias that story last year, really, and he says, "I always wondered about that." Brad's big break in Las Vegas came when entertainment director Richard Sturm booked him as Frank Sinatra's opening act at Bally's on New Year's Eve in 1988. That was Brad Garrett's big Las Vegas debut, and he is an old Vegas personality, he will tell you that. He landed his breakout role as Ray Romano's brother, Robert, in the hit sitcom Everybody Loves Raymond, which ran from 1996 to 2005. Brad showed his ample comic acting aptitude by winning the Emmy for Best Supporting Actor in a Comedy Series 3 times in that series, and appeared in all 210 episodes. Three years after Raymond went off the air, Brad felt the tug of Las Vegas. He opened his own comedy club on the mezzanine level of the Tropicana, where Rodney Dangerfield's club once stood. In 2012, he moved across the street to the MGM Grand, into the underground, where Brad Garrett's comedy club reopened. As he said at the time, "I'm next to the sock store and across from Haagen-Dazs." This is what happens when your ex-wife takes all your Raymond money. After the shutdown, the club moved upstairs at the MGM Grand, toward the Grand Garden Arena where it is today. Today, Brad is married to Isabel Quella, a very patient woman, and he headlines Brad Garrett's comedy club multiple weekends every month. In keeping with his sense of classic Las Vegas entertainment, he has hired a house band, Ashley Fuller and the Collective, to play out front on Friday and Saturday night. No cover. Brad is also very active in his charity. He does a lot of charity work, folks. It's called the Maximum Hope Foundation, which provides direct financial support to children with life-threatening ailments and their families. They pay bills, they pay rent as needed. The foundation, Maximum Hope, is named for Brad's kids, Max and Hope. I'll close with a story Brad told me a few years ago. When Garrett opened for Frank Sinatra, Old Blue Eyes was known to introduce him as Greg Barrett. This forced Brad Garrett to make an impossible choice: correct Frank Sinatra or continue to take a bow as Greg Barrett. As he said, like a schmuck, I took a bow to somebody else's name. Finally, my mom told me, maybe you should sit down and have a talk with Mr. Sinatra. I said, what? Ma, you don't have a talk with Mr. Sinatra. But Brad did have a talk with one of Frank Sinatra's handlers, one of his assistants, and he said, do you think Mr. Sinatra could call me by my real name? And the guy responded, you're having a good time here, right? Things are going well? You're happy, Mr. Sinatra's happy? Brad said, well, yeah. He says, let's keep it that way. So it is my honor tonight to properly congratulate and welcome by name to the UNLV College of Fine Arts Hall of Fame, Brad Garrett.